You cannot convince me that Batman doesn't love the Joker as much as the Joker loves Batman. In fact, he would rather see his Robins get shot before seeing the damn clown get shot. How's it going, comic book nerds? I'm Drew, otherwise known as AO Naves, and today we are recapping and discussing Batman number 159, aka Hush 2, issue 2, also aka steaming dumpster fire garbage piece of shit. Seriously, I'm not kidding. I almost turned into the Joker reading this comic. It was so horrendously written. I haven't read a Batman story this offensive since All-Star Batman. It's kind of giving the same vibes. It might even top it. Oh my god. If you haven't watched my previous video or you haven't read the first issue of Hush 2, all you really need to know is that the Joker got kidnapped by Hush. He's been tortured to the point where he's almost dead. He just has to sit there for a couple hours and he'll bleed out. And Batman's just left with that decision of, does he let him die? Or is he going to save the clown? And to absolutely nobody's surprise, he saves Joker, even going as far as granting him passenger princess privileges in the Batmobile. So where's Batman taking his beloved Pookie Bear? To none other than Dr. Leslie Tompkins' office. And he brings him into her office all cradled up in his arms, wrapped around with his cape, because he didn't want him to get wet from the rain. They literally love each other. You cannot convince me otherwise. Dr. Tompkins scolds Batman for not taking him to an actual fully staffed ER where he needs to be, as Batman explains that nobody is going to care for the Joker, anyone else would just let him die, and that he knows Leslie Tompkins only cares about saving lives, even one as disgusting as the Joker's. And you know what? He's actually right. I remember reading in No Man's Land how Dr. Tompkins saved the life of Victor Zsasz, someone who murders women and children like it's for sport. Okay, it gets better. So Batman takes a seat and actually just waits for the entire process to be done. Like he's waiting on the surgery of a loved one or something. Like, you're telling me you can't be out there fighting crime or figuring out what Hush wants to do? Like, this is the best thing for you to do right now? You don't trust Leslie to do this? You love him that much? Holy, look how sad he is. He looks so sad. I made a promise to rid my city of the evil. The evil.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Homeboy actually waited so long that he fell asleep. Bruce, wake up. Is he dead? So Dr. Tompkins assures Batman that the Joker is alive. However, if he wants him to continue being alive, he needs actual round-the-clock care from a real hospital. Batman tells her that that is just completely impossible because no one's going to take care of the Joker. So what does Batman decide to do? He takes his arch nemesis, the guy who crippled Barbara and killed Jason Todd, who his underground base of operations, the Batcave. I was actually about to make a sarcastic point about him not even having Alfred take care of the Joker because he was so personally invested, but then I remembered that Alfred is actually dead. Whoops. So as Batman is looking after the Joker, he is completely inspecting him. Even though he knows all this information already about the Joker, noticing how he has no fingerprints, no footprints or anything, and why am I looking at the Joker's toes? Then out of nowhere, Batman feels a gun press up to the back of his head. You'll know that my cowl is reinforced. If you fire, your gun will jam, ricochet, or even explode. But he's not bulletproof. Here it is again, Batman saving the Joker's life, pulling the gunman's arm away from Joker's head. And to nobody's surprise, because he's literally on the cover, the gunman is Red Hood, Jason Todd. And I'm already pissed at this. I'm already pissed that we're back to bringing Red Hood as a villain. Why is he shooting at Batman? I thought you guys patched everything up. I thought we already, been done with Under the Red Hood, but here we are. We're fighting again, I guess. But don't worry, the writing gets even worse. Because currently this is Batman's mindset, right? He remembers when Hush sent Clayface after him and he shapeshifted to look like Jason Todd to mess with his head. So he thinks there's a big possibility it could be Clayface again. But at the same time, Red Hood is a bit of an asshat, so this could just be Red Hood. Either way, he has a plan to non-lethally surprise them and gain the upper hand. And that is grabbing a gun and shooting him in the face. I'm sorry, huh? I get it. Okay, I get it. It was non-lethal either way. They would have been fine. Red Hood has the reinforced bulletproof helmet. Clayface is a pile of shit. Both are pretty damn bulletproof, but it's just the principle here. Especially, this is such a middle finger to Jason. He refused to shoot the Joker so many times and refuses to kill him and refuses to use guns like a majority of the time. Like, I know Batman has a couple of moments where he does use a gun, but it is extremely rare and it has to be like the only solution possible for Batman to use a gun. I am sorry, but a gun is not the only solution to gain the upper hand in a fight against freaking Jason Todd, okay? This is just one of his Robins. I'm sure he has something else in his utility belt that could catch him off guard, okay? You do not need to shoot your adopted son in the face. There's just so much character regression here. I could talk about this one moment for hours. Just know that I hate it with every fiber of my being. These two find themselves at a standstill, pointing guns at each other's throats, until Batman finally drops the gun when Jason calls him out on his BS, knowing he won't go for a lethal shot. You're not angry at the Joker. He was only the blunt instrument. Like the crowbar. Batman, you cannot just say that. Jason starts whooping Batman, and honestly, he deserves it for that one. And as Batman tries to appeal to Jason's emotions, he says the same thing that we're all thinking. How could you save the Joker's life? And knocks his ass out cold. That's where we cut to the clock tower, where Batgirl and Nightwing are having a conversation about their new partnership with the Riddler, who knows their secret identities, who knows where they live, and looks like a G.I. Joe action figure. Literally, what is this fit? And he's beefed up too. Call him the Roidler. But I guess they need his help because he knows Hush the best. He knows what he's capable of, as he was a pawn in the Riddler's plan during the first Hush run. Something that I wasn't a fan of. Ending with Joker missing from the Batcave, revealing that Red Hood could potentially be working with Hush. And that was Batman number 159. If it sounded like I hated it, it's because I absolutely did. I swear I'm normally not this negative or worked up about comic books, but this was genuinely some of the most horrendous writing I have seen in a long time. Now, I want to establish I have no problem with Batman having a no-kill rule. In fact, I think it's integral to his character. Without it, he's just the Punisher in a cape. It also has some other benefits like returning villains, an inherent character flaw, like an additional challenge for him. Like, it's good for his character. But if we're going to have a no-kill rule, I want to see that same amount of effort put into his loved ones. Like, why are we shooting our children? I said this in my previous video, I wouldn't be able to recommend Hush 2 until the second issue came out, so now I can officially say I don't recommend this to anybody, especially if you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of Red Hood, hell, if you're even a fan of the Joker. This is a terrible story. Nobody's winning here. It depends on nostalgia bait, it depends on shock value. In fact, I think they purposely made this so bad and so offensive that it would generate discussion online. Hell, I just fell for it. I made a whole video on it. I think it's safe to say that I won't be picking up any more issues of Hush 2. I definitely won't be covering it on my channel. And thank the Lord that we have absolute Batman going on, because these mainline Batman comics are just not it at the moment. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. It really does mean a lot to me. This channel is brand spanking new, so I will take all the support I can get. If you ended up enjoying what you watched, make sure you leave a like and subscribe as well, because I got a lot more coming in the future. These type of videos are so much fun to make, and I want to keep going. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.